Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world too. This is Icon Global Television coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch Abu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. President Bola Tinubu has approved the posting of 65 ambassadors designate and high commissioners to various countries and the United Nations, with former Aviation Minister Femi Fani-Kayode assigned to Germany and Presidential aide Reno Omokri to Mexico. The special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, who signed the statement announcing the postings, disclosed that 34 non-career and 31 career ambassadors have been assigned to their duty post. Among the high-profile non-career appointees, former Katsina State Governor Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Dambazau will serve in Beijing, that is China, while Senator Jimo Ibrahim has been designated as Nigeria's permanent representative to the United Nations. Other prominent postings include Senator Ita Enang, South Africa, former Abia State Governor Okeze Ikpeazu, Spain, and former Health Minister Professor Isaac Adewale, Canada, and Lateef Kayode as United States. The federal government has intensified efforts to curb certificate fraud by tightening the verification of academic records across tertiary institutions. This is part of broader reforms aimed at strengthening the integrity and credibility of Nigeria's education system. The step followed a report that Nigerians had obtained questionable degrees from unaccredited institutions abroad. The federal government reiterated its commitment to strengthening the integrity of academic records and improving institutional compliance across the education sector. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shoaibu, has acknowledged the enormous support of Benue State government to the Nigerian Army in fighting different forms of insecurity and its effort at sustaining peace in troubled communities. The Army boss acknowledged this when he was received at the Government House on his operational visit to the state. He called for more synergy to stem the tides of security breaches. Correspondent Felicity Ndere reports.
It is the operational visit of the Chief of Army Staff to military formation in Benue State, and the Army Chief is at the Government House to visit the Chief Security Officer of the state. The 25th Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shoaibu, disclosed that his visit is to assess the operational readiness and challenges of troops and battalions for necessary actions. Lieutenant General Shoaibu appreciated the support of the state government to troops deployed to the state in terms of facilities and equipment, provision of operational vehicles and drones, as well as scholarships for families of fallen heroes.
The President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has approved the upsurge of troops. Over 28,000 troops will be recruited and trained within this period, the 1 year period. And once that they are graduating, we are organizing them into battalions and deploying them accordingly to improve the security.
While appreciating the robust relationship between the state and the Nigerian Army, State Governor Hyacinth Alia also commended the immeasurable support of the federal government, which has translated to the successes and relative peace being experienced in the state. Acknowledging the pivotal role of intelligence in fighting insecurity, the governor reiterated his call on people of the state to always provide timely and useful information to security agents for prompt attention.
We would like the collaboration just to be intensified some more. It remains our hope also to keep supporting members of our fallen heroes.
He expressed optimism that with the intensified onslaught on bandits and insurgents, the displaced person will return to their ancestral communities to resume their livelihood.
The Nigerian Police Force has announced that the physical and critical screening exercise for applicants seeking recruitment as police constable will commence in Kebbi State on March 9, 2026. The Kebbi State Police Command said the exercise will run from March 9 to April 18, 2026 at the police headquarters in Gwadangaji, Birnin Kebbi. In a statement issued by the police public relations officer, Bashir Usman, the command urged applicants to visit the recruitment portal to check application status and print their invitation slips ahead of the screening date. According to statements, candidates are expected to appear at the screening venue on the specific date and time indicated on their invitation slips. The Nigerian Army has urged the youths in Abia and Southeast states to answer national clarion call by joining the Nigerian Army to serve the nation. The call was made in Umuahia during the first edition of an awareness campaign organized by the Department of Civil Military Affairs, Nigerian Army for Youths, Traditional Rulers, and other civil society groups. The guest speaker at the program, Major General God Chubuisi, retired, who delivered a lecture, encouraged the youth of the Southeast to stop shunning the Army service but embrace career opportunities in the Army in fields of medicine, law, engineering, and other areas. The Oba of Benin, Omo Noba Nedo Iku Apolopolo Oba Owuare II, has assured the Nigerian Army of the support of Benin Palace in strengthening ongoing military operations within the kingdom. The monarch gave the assurance when the commander of the 4th Brigade of the Nigerian Army Brigade, General Ahmed Balogun, paid him a courtesy visit at the Royal Palace in Benin City. The Oba commended the brigade commander and personnel of the Nigerian Army for their efforts in safeguarding law-abiding citizens in Edo State. He also prayed for the continued protection and safety of the troops as they carry out their duties professionally. A Deputy Inspector General of Police, Frank Mba, alongside several other senior officers, will be retiring from the Nigerian Police Force following recent changes in the leadership of the force. This is just as 7 Assistant Inspector General of Police have been slated for promotion to the rank of Deputy Inspector General of Police. The exit of Mba and other DIGs followed the exit of the former Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, and the confirmation of Tunji Disu as the new Inspector General of Police. Disu was sworn in on Wednesday as the 23rd Indigenous IGP. The U.S. Embassy in Nigeria has announced the temporary closure of its Abuja office for routine business due to potential protests in the city. This was disclosed by the U.S. mission in Nigeria. According to the Post, the disclosure will last until Monday, March 9, 2026, affecting both visa and American Citizen Services appointments. Emir of Zazzau, Nuhu Bamali, former Kaduna State Governor Ramalan Yaro and Commissioner for Information Ahmad Meyeke have called for peace and religious tolerance at the annual Ramadan lecture organized by Kaduna State Media Corporation. The monarch urged Nigeria to accommodate one another, irrespective of religious differences, stressing tolerance remains the bedrock of progress and stability. The cleric urged Northerners to close ranks in confronting challenges facing the region instead of allowing divisions to fester. A former governor of Bayelsa State and prominent member of the People's Democratic Party, Henry Siraki Dixon, has announced his resignation from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and declared his membership of the Nigerian Democratic Congress. Ubong Usoro reports.
Siraki Dixon has stated that he is now a member of a newly registered party, the National Democratic Congress, and has also been appointed the national leader of the party. He added that he played a major role in the process that led to the creation of the NDC. He explained that his decision was driven by the need to preserve Nigeria's democratic space and prevent the country from becoming a one-party state.
This great party that offered us everything, unfortunately, may not be in a position to be competitive.
According to him, joining the ruling All Progressive Congress was never an option, citing concerns over the party's handling of national security, the economy, and what he described as disregard for Nigeria's diversity. Dixon also criticized the rejection of key electoral reforms and warned that Nigeria's democratic liberties must be protected. He said the Nigeria Democratic Congress would focus on key priorities including national security, economic growth, education, and health care.
We now have the newest party in Nigeria known as the Nigeria Democratic Congress, NDC. And our symbol is victory, the victory sign. The victory sign. You now have a credible alternative opposition party.
The former governor also noted that the party would promote judicial independence, a free press, and adherence to the rule of law. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
The federal government says Nigeria's agricultural reforms are beginning to yield results as efforts intensify to strengthen food security and boost local production. This was the focus of the 2026 Ministerial Stakeholders Engagement on Agricultural Transformation held in Abuja, where government officials and industry players reviewed progress in the sector and mapped out strategies for sustainable growth. Aniete Patrick reports.
Opening the engagement, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, said the administration is prioritizing food security as a key pillar of national stability and economic growth. Kyari noted that government interventions across major agricultural value chains are helping farmers increase productivity, reduce losses, and improve incomes. The minister also highlighted several programs implemented over the past 2 years, including fertilizer distribution to nearly 1 million farmers, the deployment of tractors under the Renewed Hope Agricultural Mechanization Program, and the expansion of value chains in crops such as rice, maize, cassava, cocoa, and oil palm. He added that the ministry is working to expand mechanization, provide improved seeds and inputs, and strengthen agricultural infrastructure across the country.
The provision of high-quality seeds, agrochemicals, safety kits, pest and disease management packs, coupled with capacity-building initiatives undertaken in years 2024 and 2025, has significantly bolstered our agricultural value chains.
Also speaking at the forum, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said the engagement reflects the government's commitment to transparency and inclusive governance under the administration of President Bola Tinubu. He explained that keeping citizens informed about policies and programs while receiving feedback from stakeholders is crucial to strengthening democratic governance and policy.
These reforms, therefore, have laid a durable foundation for inclusive economic expansion. For those who are in doubt, we're seeing that today, for the first time in about 13 years, our foreign reserve has crossed the $50 billion mark.
Stakeholders at the retreat say sustaining investments, innovation and partnerships will be crucial in achieving long-term food security and positioning Nigeria's agriculture for global competitiveness.
Price is too low. The farmers may not go for maize farming next year. The maize, but the uptakers, that is the industries, are not picking at the production cost.
I came with a lot of questions and frustrations, and after listening to the issues they raised, the ministries, the two ministries, they have done so much.
the farmers in the rural area. I'm from Sokoto State, one of the most affected. I think we just develop a way of adapting to the situation.
With rising demand for food and global pressure on local production, stakeholders say the time for action is now. For Nigeria, strengthening agriculture is not just about feeding the nation, it is about securing the future. Aniette Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
The Kebbi State Governor Nasir Idris has intensified efforts to boost food production and strengthen grassroots welfare with the rollout of massive agricultural support and Ramadan palliatives across the state, even as he consolidated his leadership of the All Progressive Congress. The latest intervention was flagged off by the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, who commended the governor's commitment to agricultural transformation and rural empowerment. Meanwhile, at the Kebbi State APC Congress, 30 members of the State Executive Committee emerged through what party stakeholders describe as transparent and rancor-free process. The new executive is chaired by Abubakar Kano Zuru. The peaceful outcome of the Congress has been widely attributed to Governor Idris' leadership style and effort at fostering unity within the party. The chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Ismail Abba, has reiterated the Commission's resolve to improve efficiency in the delivery of pilgrim service by aligning its operations with its service provider company to prevent the challenge experienced during the 2025 Hajj. He made this known in Abuja during a strategic meeting with officials of the Mashariq Al-Adahabiyya, led by its board chairman, Mohammed Adankiri. The Saudi-based firm oversees services provided to Nigerian pilgrims under the government quota in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. You're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. News Cycle continues after this weather forecast, plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Good to have you with us. Here's what we expect as we head into Saturday. Much of the northern and the north-central region will experience sunshine with a bit of haziness. However, parts of Benue, Kogi, and Kwara State may see patches of cloud cover. Similar cloudy conditions are also expected across parts of the southern region of the country. There's a slight chance of rainfall during the afternoon and evening hours, mainly affecting parts of Osun, Oyo, Ogun, Ekiti, Edo, Lagos, Delta, Bayelsa, and Rivers State. Although rainfall chances remain relatively low, across the country, thermal discomfort levels are expected to increase, with temperatures mostly reaching the upper 30s. These warm conditions are likely to persist throughout the weekend. Residents are advised to wear light clothing where possible and stay well hydrated. And that's it from here. Do join us again.
Welcome back from that break. Now let's take you to the world of business, where the federal government has stressed the need for continued support in projecting government reforms and promoting Nigeria as an attractive investment destination globally. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, made this known while receiving the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduwole, during a courtesy visit to the Ministry of Information in Abuja. Sa'adatu Garba reports.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says Nigeria's economic reform agenda under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is beginning to show measurable results, as effective communication remains key to the success of the administration's economic reforms. He noted that the government is taking decisive steps to strengthen critical infrastructure needed for industrialization, including reforms in the power sector aimed at providing more reliable electricity for businesses and industries.
All the economic reforms that the president has instituted, we're seeing them already bearing fruit. And like my colleague in the my counterpart in the Ministry of Finance has always said that the economy has turned the corner, and the President has also consistently said that we are seeing the light. We are seeing the tunnel, we are also seeing the light, meaning that we are seeing where the destination is.
Earlier, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduwole, said the visit was to strengthen collaboration with the Ministry of Information and National Orientation in amplifying the ministry's programs and policy direction. She noted that the ministry is focused on boosting industrialization, expanding trade opportunities, and increasing non-oil exports to drive economic transformation. Dr. Oduwole added that efforts are also underway to unlock global and regional demand for Nigerian products, strengthen domestic industrial capacity, and attract strategic investments into key sectors of the economy.
We've achieved quite a bit in terms of reforms. We've achieved stabilization of the economy. Mr. President's reforms have had quite some impact. Last year was an inflection point, and we wanted to tell you just succinctly at a high level what the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment will be focusing on.
The renewed collaboration between the two ministries is expected to strengthen public awareness of government reforms while promoting Nigeria's economic opportunities to investment at home and abroad. Saadatu Garba, Global TV News, Abuja.
South Korea struck a deal to ship Iran 4 million barrels of oil from the United Arab Emirates, bolstering supply as the U.S.-Israel war on Iran urgent energy markets. Iran claims it is now in control of the crucial Strait of Hormuz, the Gulf checkpoint through which a fifth of the world's crude oil flows. Heavily reliant on oil shipped through the strait, South Korea said it has dispatched tankers to secure alternative supply of fuel. South Korea is the fourth largest importer of crude oil in the world, according to U.S. government figures. About 70% of the crude oil South Korea import passes through the Strait of Hormuz, according to the government. And now on the foreign scene, a group of 43 Ugandan students have spoken of their trauma after fleeing the U.S. and Israeli bombing campaign in Iran and returning to Uganda. Some Ugandan students, however, chose to stay despite the offer of return from their government. Zarau Nasir reports.
The Ugandan ambassador organized their escape by bus to the Turkish border and then on to Istanbul, where they caught a flight home. Sharon Twin, who had been studying international relations at Ahlul Bayt International University in Tehran when the war started, told reporters at Etembe International Airport in Uganda that it was scary and traumatizing.
Still traumatized. I'm still traumatized. Yes, I love to study. I love to study. I love to practice what I would earn from Iran, but I think I will have to get therapy first.
Another of the students, Oscar Inyagiyema, said a site near their university was hit by an airstrike. Despite the trauma, Inyagiyema said he will return to finish his program in Iran as soon as possible.
Our university, there's a site near our university where a site was hit. We could see the birds fly, we could hear the ground trembling, could hear the ground shake. We're all scared, we're all feeling devastated. We really did not know whether we could make it out. Now we do not know if we go back, because truth be told, if they open the country, we are going to go back because we want to finish our programs.
However, the country's Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Balam Barugahra, stated that some of the students had voluntarily decided to stay back in Iran.
Government was willing to bring them back, but they remained behind. Then the other university has 53. We are trying to see how to support those ones also to return.
In the meantime, world leaders have begun calling for the escalation of hostilities among warring nations. Zahra Unasir, reporting for Global TV.
And now from the weather sport, Nigeria senior women's basketball team, the Tigers, have unveiled their final 12-player squad for the upcoming FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament 2026, with the list confirmed by FIBA. The squad also announced on the team's official social media platforms. includes experienced campaigners such as Ezine Kalu, Sarah Ogoke, Ami Okonkwo, and Promise Omo Kamara, alongside other key players like Elizabeth Balogo, Nicole Enebosi, Victoria Makule, Marjonata Musa Mpalas Kanui, Akwana Rita Iboke Ifunanya Okoro, and Blessing Ejiafo. The 7-time African champions will compete in the qualifying tournament schedule for March 11 to 17 in Lyon, France, where they are set to face Colombia on March 11, followed by games against South Korea on March 12, the Philippines on March 14, France on March 15, and Germany on March 17. Galatasaray President Dusan Özbek has confirmed there is no release clause in Victor Osimhen's contract, delivering a firm message to the string of European clubs reported to be chasing the Super Eagles striker as his performance continued to attract admirers across the continent. Özbek went further, heaping lavish praise on Nigeria International and insisting the club's record signing will remain in Istanbul for years to come. Osimhen, 27, joined Galatasaray on permanent deal worth £75 million last summer after an initial loan spell and has justified the fee. The Napoli striker has scored 17 goals and provided 6 assists in 25 official appearances this season, including 7 strikes in the Champions League, where the Turkish club have reached the round of 16 for the first time in 12 years and will now face Liverpool. And that's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Thanks for watching.